Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Momentum. This is number 151. We're finishing off the week of systems, really exciting stuff that I know you guys get super jazzed about. This is what really excites everyone. Just kidding. This is typically the stuff, guys, when we have like an in-person mastermind and we have folks come out here and we teach them how to set up their business. This is the part where everybody's like, yeah, starting to get a little tired and we have to get up and we got to clap and do all that stuff. And we got people doing push-ups in the back. I'm just kidding. But for real though, systems, how many people get jazzed about setting up systems, especially if you're not an integrator? Not that many people get jazzed about this stuff, but it's so important. It's so important. Like literally our business wouldn't run without it. And it is worth time noting to make sure you make the time to set this up properly. Even if you hate it, even if you will never, ever, ever check on it again, like it's important to have this stuff as a foundation. Okay. Don't let it stop you from taking action. Like a lot of people like, oh my gosh, I got to figure all this stuff out. What do I do? What do I do? I don't know where to get started. Don't let it stop you from taking action, especially if you've never gotten a deal. Well, I actually did a video of like how to get a deal in 7 days. But as you guys start to build, right, the things that work in the beginning, you could throw so much against the wall and something's going to stick in the beginning, right? You can do so much action and all of a sudden, like all that craziness, all that like just going out there and making it happen, something's going to come of it. Okay. If you stick with it and you're consistent and you're persistent, okay, something's going to happen. It's going to work. But the challenge is, and this is where most people get stuck, guys. This is where most people get stuck. They get stuck with, okay, now I've got a deal. What happens next? Okay. I talked to wholesalers, or even realtors, people in like just the real estate profession. I feel like this would really apply anywhere. You get a little taste of success and you're just used to being the hustler. You are used to being the person. You're the one, like everything relies on me. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to make this happen. Right? I'm going to be the one the buck stops on me. Like I got to be the one to make it happen. The bottleneck. Like I'm the leader. Challenge is you can't grow your business if it's like that. If you're the one every stop of the way where people are counting on you and you still have to hold hands, who here is a business owner and feel like you've had to hold people's hands before? Most of us. Okay. And this is where people get stuck. People get stuck with, I've done a deal. Why is my business not consistent? Why am I doing a deal every other month? Why am I doing one deal a month, 2 deals a month? It really goes back on your systems. Okay. If your systems do not support 5 deals a month, you are never going to get 5 deals a month. If your systems do not support $1 million business, you will never have $1 million business. It may sound silly. It's like, duh, dude, what are you talking about? That's a no-brainer. That may be true, but it's worth noting. Okay. So today is finishing off the week of systems. We have talked about so much, and I'm going to go back through it briefly here as I share my screen. I want to make sure you guys get as much as you possibly can out of this today. Okay. So here is our flow chart from yesterday. We talked about lead gen, showed you how to set up your dialer properly, the 3 most important things when it comes to setting up your dialer. Go back and watch those videos from earlier this week. If you missed it, it's your phone numbers. It is, what's number 2? Your leads list. And number 3 is your avail time. Okay. Number 4, the 4th thing that we talked about yesterday was having the systems to support Podio, right? System to support your lead managers. The difference between a lead manager and acquisition. Remember, guys, if you're just getting started, this is probably going to be you. Okay. If you're just beginning in this business, you're probably wearing both of these hats. This is the most important position for you. Unless you have someone helping you, unless you have a business partner or something that this is their natural skill, and maybe you are that integrator, maybe you love the system stuff, then you're going to need someone to find help here, because if you don't figure this part out, you will never get your business off the ground. You will never have consistent deals. Maybe you get one big rip and you make 20 grand, and that changes everything, because 20 grand is a lot of money. There's no doubt about that. But why do some people build these big organizations? Why do people make $1 million, $2 million and start to scale and do other cool things and acquire rental properties? Because they figured out the acquisition in their business. You got to be able to sell. And if you can't sell or you don't want to sell, well, number 1, if you don't want to sell, that's probably not the right mentality. But number 2, if you just can't right now, and that's most people just getting started, find someone to partner with, find a JV partner. You can get your business off the ground doing that. Okay. Now, next level to this is the acquisition. So we talked about Podio, right? Podio was what place for what? For us to organize our leads based on these 3 outcomes. Is someone ready to sell? They're not ready to sell, they need to be followed up on, or is a dead lead. 1, 2, 3. Literally that simple. Okay, we organize this in Podio. I showed you guys yesterday in the Opportunities app. We organize all of our leads and track our KPIs in this one spot. I also share with you guys, there you go. I also share with you guys another very important aspect, which is the dials. So how do I know that my sales team are doing what they're supposed to be doing? How do I know, as the person that is wearing this hat right now in my business, making the sales calls, how do I know I'm doing the right things? We track the calls. Am I making 80 calls a day? You guys talk about, I want to get a deal a week, or my goal is to get to a deal a week. Well, there needs to be 80 sales calls happening every single day to make that happen. Okay. Get your repetitions, put yourself in a position to win. Literally that simple. So what other systems do you guys need to have $1 million a year business? Okay. Lead gen, acquisition. You figure out these two things. You don't need the dispo leg. You don't even need to go crazy deep into admin quite yet. You figure out this, you can easily do consistently 50, 60, 70, 80, $90,000. Guys, at $90,000 a month, that's $1 million business. You can do that simply by having a great lead gen system and a great acquisition system. Okay. If you can't hire this out quite yet, which most of you guys cannot, so don't feel bad if you can't. This is most folks. Okay. This is where I started. I was not able to hire this out. You do this, you get really good at it, so then you can train someone to do it. Season 2 is Zero to Hero REI, which, are you guys stoked about that? I am freaking so freaking excited for season 2. It is going to be crazy because it's a continuation of building your business, but then taking that next step, because this is the next step for most people, training folks to help them with lead managing and acquisition. So the other backend systems that has to happen. So if I'm tracking my calls, we use a system called Smartphone. Okay, this is what Smartphone looks like. It has the functionalities, has a text feature. If I have text coming in, it comes on here, call monitoring, smart dialer. Now, you guys are going to ask me, Matt, what are you talking about? You have call tools. Why do you need Smartphone? Well, I'm going to tell you guys right now. Number one, we have an outbound prospecting. Geez, my spelling is terrible. Dialer. Okay, outbound prospecting dialer. This is where we power dial. Okay, the functions of this is number one, we power dial cold leads list. I'll just say cold lead list. Right? That's one of the main functions. And we do all cold outreach. Okay, I mean, basically the same thing, but that's the main function. Okay, we power dial cold list here. This is where people have never talked to us before. We're power dialing them. So I have a dialer set in place just for our VAs to do that. Okay, I have a second dialer. Here's the second dialer. The second dialer is Smartphone. So Smartphone has a couple different functions that I love, and the reason why we have it and we pay a different fee. Number one, we call warm leads. So these are not just a list of people. These are actual leads. We call warm leads within our CRM with this dialer. Okay. It attaches, it integrates with Podio. So we call our warm leads that are already been vetted. Okay. It records all conversations and activity logs. So anytime a call is made, anytime a text is made, anytime an inbound call is happening, any kind of communication, right? I should probably say records all communication. Well, that's terrible. Communication within Podio. So anytime we make a call, it's going to be right there. Okay. Anytime we make a text, it's going to be right there. So I can see if my agents are hitting their numbers. It records all communication and activity logs. Not just the actual call itself. It records like, hey, this happened here, this happened then. So if I can see like, guys, why have we not called this lead in 3 days? I can see it because it's tracked within our CRM. And another cool thing Smartphone would do is I can power dial the warm leads in our CRM. So I can not just call them, I can power dial them as well, which is powerful. So when you get to the point where you have, hundreds or thousands of leads in your CRM, I can power dial them. So 2 different dialers, 2 different functions. Okay. There's call tools. I'm going to put this here. Call tools is important for our outbound prospecting. Has a different function than smartphone. So I'm going to put this up here and say dialers. So smartphone it bills you per minute. Okay. So every minute that you speak. So obviously that function makes it not that great for like all the calls that we make. Cause you guys got to imagine when we do outbound prospecting, doing cold calling, we dial a lot. So it uses a lot of minutes. Wouldn't be something I would want to use smartphone for. Okay. Smartphone again, main function is making sure that we're using and we're communicating with our leads and it's being tracked. Okay. Does everyone kind of see that? So 2 different things. So I pay for both systems. One's for cold outreach, one's for warm. Okay. Now the other backend systems that you're going to want, which naturally integrates, if you're a bomb CRM client, then you already have this, but one of the backend things that we have that is automatically integrated. So if you were to get a CRM like this or something similar, you would have the offers app. So within the offers app, it generates your contracts. You guys can see Dustin Fails. Here's the property address. Here's his email. Okay. It pulls that property card. So the address itself, I can fill in anything in particular, the acquisition rep that worked this particular file. So if I want to pay commission to someone, I can track it here. I would type in the offer amount, how many days we want on the inspection, the earnest money deposit, the date of acceptance, the closing date, and the title that's doing the job itself, the title company that's processing the transaction, any other additional terms. So if I say, property to be vacant at close of escrow, right? I would type that in here. Very simple. And I would just click create offer and it would make a purchase contract. Okay. And it would give you a preview file for that. So it automatically uses our boilerplated template. So if you guys buy Bomb CRM or have access to that, you get a boilerplated contract we use in every single market. It fills in the close date, your company, the seller's name, the address, sales price, any expenses, all that good stuff. Everything else is pretty generic to a normal contract. You're going to also have your inspection days in here. Okay. And you're going to have your additional agreement. So if I put in to be vacant at close of escrow, it would be right here. But this was already one that was saved in the system, and it leaves a place for the seller to sign and you as the buyer to sign. So everything's done within the CRM. You don't have to go fix it, make one, send it out DocuSign. It's as simple as create offer. And then when you hit send offer, it would actually send the offer out that you just made to the seller, to that email that you have on file. So it's sent to this one right here. Okay. And then they can sign. You don't have to go generate it. Once the signed contract comes back, right, it will automatically update the system, right? It says, great job on getting this offer signed. The transaction and inventory item has been created. So within our system on the acquisition, now the contract's been signed, we're ready to hand this off to disposition. It notifies me, and all I have to do is share this file with our dispo team, and they can start marketing the deal and getting it sold. But it's all done within one platform. This integrates with our signature program called REI Signature. So again, if you're a part of Bomb CRM, you wouldn't have to worry about going and getting that subscription or setting up your Podio to be that way. But if you were to set up your own Podio, that's kind of standard. Either you're going to use REI Signature or DocuSign, but that would only be the other subscription that you'd be paying for, right? Typically, REI Signature is awesome because the subscription price of that is like 10 to 15 bucks a month. DocuSign's like 40, 45, something like that. So, but either way, both functions the same. You're just getting a signature done virtually. We definitely use that in our post-close, actually in our closing. It's like, hey, so this is what we're going to be doing. You're going to be getting an agreement from a program called REI Signature. You're going to see that come in your email. Let me know, and then we'll go over it together. Okay. So that's a part of our close. We let them know exactly where it's coming from, who we are, what we do. But that's really your only systems that you need for the acquisition side. Guys, so this week we talked about how do you set up your systems in a way that you have a millionaire REI blueprint of your business. I've given you guys the positions, who needs to work where. especially on the front end. We can dive more into dispo and systems later, and the admin stuff later. But this is the front end, generating leads cost effectively. Okay. We'll get into PPC and other things another time, but we're talking about cost effectively. How can you get a deal with $1,000, $1,500? Is being super duper niched, super duper focused when it comes to your list. Guys, go back and watch day number 2. This was Tuesday. We talked about your leads list. Okay. You cold call those people, and then someone has to work the inbound lead. So that's where the acquisition comes into play. These are probably the 2 most important pieces to any real estate investing business, is lead gen and acquisition. If you guys figure this part out, you follow these simple steps and these systems that I'm giving you right here, there's no reason why your business can't win. So that wraps up this week. That is our Friday episode of Momentum. Hopefully you guys got some value from today. As always, if you did get value, head over to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe. I appreciate you guys. I want to see you come in here, ask questions. I'll be happy to answer anything you guys have. You can put it in the comment section. I know it's late on the East Coast. It's already 10:30. But yeah, as we move forward and we get deeper into these daily lives, guys, these lives happen every single day. So again, if you're not on the YouTube channel, go over there and subscribe, because you're going to get every single one of these. We're going to be doing some acquisition training tomorrow. We had one of our acquisition reps who lives in Washington. He's flown in, and he's going to join us over at Pace's house tomorrow. We're going to be teaching him how to acquire deals on creative finance. So it's going to be super duper dope. We're excited for that. And of course, as always, guys, like, we just continue. I just want to make sure that I come on here and talk to things that are relevant to you and where you're at. So if there's something that you want me to talk more about, if it's systems, if it's acquisition, if it's seller calls, if it's whatever it is, I'm happy to. I want to see you guys get results. I want to see you guys get that first deal, because it's not about the money. Money is awesome, but it shifts your paradigm and you say, dude, I can do this. I can make this happen. And that is how everything changes. Like, once you realize that and you see it for yourself, for me, it wasn't real until I got a check that said Matthew Beard on it. And when I saw that check, dude, that was like, oh my gosh, this is real. And I want you guys to have the same. So I'm always striving to make sure it's relevant. The stuff that we're talking about is meeting you guys where you're at. So if you have any perspective, please comment on this video. I would love to hear from you guys. But as always, thanks for coming and hanging out with me on a Friday night. I appreciate you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.